All right, let's do this. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one and all to Build. How are we feeling today? You guys doing all right? It's Friday. We made it. Oh! Cocktail tables, how you feeling? There we go. All right. Fantastic. Welcome. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Man, what a week it has been at Build. We are coming to the close of our second week. And you know what? Real quick, we don't say thank you enough. Another round of applause for Greg and the crew for helping us put on an incredible show here. They've had to figure out so much so fast. Thank you, guys. So we are just having a great time here. And what a great way to cap off the week. We got a beautiful day in front of us and an incredible first guest we're kicking things off with. And just a little bit coming out to talk about the new release, The Ride, coming out in March. The great Nelly Furtado is here. How do you feel about Nelly? Yes! An embarrassment of riches here at Build. Incredible guest. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. She'll be out here in a moment. You guys are in for a treat. Mere feet away. She's going to sit right here. You're going to be right there. And she's going to be right there. Can you believe that? I know. Yeah, I can see you're very excited. That's great. So it's going to be a lot of fun. She'll be out in a moment. Joining her on stage, host and moderator, leading the conversation from the Huffington Post, Director of Entertainment Editorial, Lauren Moraski is here. Make some noise for Lauren. She's great. She's done a bunch of these. You're going to like her. If you've never seen her before, she's great. Thank you. That was nice. So they'll talk for a little, and then what we love to do here at Build, of course, audience Q&A. So if you guys have some questions, get them ready. If you don't, get the wheel spinning. You got plenty of time to think of a few. Raise your hand. We'll throw you a microphone. You know how that stuff works. Hey, those out there watching live on AOL.com or through the app or wherever it may be, however you found us, man, I'm so happy you're here. Guess what? We're going to take some questions from you as well, provided you think of some good ones. All right? Now go ahead and tweet at us at Build Series NYC, or if you got a question that's super long and you can't fit it in a single tweet, one, first of all, try to be concise, all right? We only got a limited amount of time. But two, go nuts. We made a button that says submit a question on it. I know I'm sending a lot of conflicting signals out there, but that's part of the fun of the challenge, okay? Think of a question. We'll read through all of them. We'll pick a good one. We might read it live. We might not. I don't know. We're going to learn together. Either way, it's going to be a fun ride, okay? No clip, no nothing, just a great conversation, and then an incredible performance awaits. So I'm going to stop talking and bring our guests out here. But before I do that, okay, if this is your first time to Build, welcome. But also, our guest is on the other side of that door that is open ever so slightly. Yep, I see you all looking. She's going to walk out right there. It's going to happen in just a couple of seconds as soon as I do this trick. Are you guys excited that Nelly's here? Come on, make some noise. There you go. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome your host and moderator, Lauren Moraski, and today's guest, the one, the only, Nelly Furtado.
All right, we have Nelly Furtado in the house.
I was so excited to see everyone that I felt.
You made a grand entrance, Nelly. I love it.
Yeah, I was like so busy looking at everyone's faces. Hi, everyone. This is like so exciting.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, guys. Nelly, we were so happy to have you here. I've been looking forward to this day. A couple months before we released the new album, but what we've heard so far is amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, what did you want to say with this record? It's been a few years since we've heard new music from you.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Everybody's watching. Bye. Hi, everyone at home, wherever you are in the world. Just wanted to, wrap up a few years I had that were interesting. And I'm a songwriter, as everybody knows. I write my lyrics, I write my songs. A lot of these songs I wrote right at home in my living room, playing guitar and piano. And then I brought them to Texas for John Congleton to produce them and for us to have a really good time fleshing out the sound, to make sure it was like a good listener experience, and to make sure the sentiment was felt in the music, which I think I'm really proud of. I feel like the lyrics are strong, and the lyrics, when I sing them, feel like I feel them right here in my heart. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I think life is like a ride.
Sure.
I hope you enjoy the ride. Because, right, I feel like we fall on our face sometimes, right? And we're like, oh, that hurt. Oh, my God. But I kind of feel alive, right? Because we grew from it, or we learned a little bit about ourselves. So that's kind of the place that a lot of this, like a lot of the themes are really similar. Like Pipe Dreams is all about, okay, being sold a dream or something that's kind of fake or maybe not really attainable is nice, but it's not really going to get me anywhere if I don't have like people around that are a little more truthful, or a song like Tap Dancing, which is like, oh man, I've spent my whole life trying to entertain, you know, which I enjoy, but the problem is there's a time when you go home and you're not on stage anymore, and you don't have to keep entertaining, because then there's no time for you, no time to be. And I think not just entertainer could relate to that theme. I think we all can. Sometimes we put on performances.
Sure, this is a performance of sorts, but you know, right?
Like, you know. So anyway, there's a lot of themes I could go into on the record, but there's a song called Carnival Games, which is about if you're on a Ferris wheel, like at a ride, because I love midways, I love rides, games. You're going so fast that when you get off, you don't really know what happened, although you had fun on the Ferris wheel. So it's kind of about walking away from the carnival and maybe wanting more than maybe just that stuffed animal that you bought that you're just gonna, you know, toss aside eventually. So it's about kind of seeking out those more real things, I think, in life that's gonna sustain you and that's gonna make you truly happy.
It sounds like there's a lot of you in this album, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's all me. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I kind of go there on it, yeah.
You called it your hangover album.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that accurate? I think
I'm so like hyper.
we like it. We like the energy here at Build. We're into it. You're bringing all the energy out in the crowd too.
Woo! And I'm about to sing like these slow songs. Okay, so this is the hyper part. But yeah, so I guess it's always about that juxtaposition. Like sometimes life is like really hype and really crazy, and then you don't even realize. And then, yeah, I guess the hangover aspect is you could go out and have a really good time one night, and yeah, maybe drink a little too much or something. Like you wake up the next morning and you say, "Ooh, I'm really tired. I'm really not feeling well," but I also kind of feel reflective, you know? Like I feel like a little bit alive because maybe I purged some demons or something like that the night before. Or maybe my mind kind of went to a place and then now I have to deal. I have to deal with today. Like it's not a party. Today is today. And I think that's what our mission is every day, right? We get up and we face our demons and then we get to go to sleep and try again the next day. So what I wanted more than anything is to kind of show the human side, I guess, of life again. Because I think there's beauty in it. Like I think the ugly stuff in life is actually poetic. I think, you know, there's a song called Phoenix. I'm gonna sing it.
Excited about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a song and it's a ballad, and that's the first song I wrote for the album. I flew to England. I don't know if any of you guys at home remember a song I did with James Morrison called Broken Strings, but the producer and the writer of that, I wrote Phoenix with him, and also co-wrote it with this guy named Paul Berry who co-wrote Let It Go for James Bay. So really great guys. And we wrote Phoenix, but it kind of came out of nowhere. Literally the day before, I found myself alone, completely alone. I severed ties with a very long business relationship that had lasted 20 years. And I just wanted to be by myself. But it was scary, because starting over is always scary, and we don't know what we're doing. We made the right decision, but it's difficult, you know? It's never easy starting over. So I found myself in England at a bed and breakfast in a really small town called Ripley, where Mark works. And I woke up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night thinking, what am I doing here, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do except for write a song. That's all I've ever known how to do. So I just got up in the middle of the night, pulled out my laptop, kind of saw what songs I had brought and what lyrics I had brought, kind of dusted myself off, and Mark picked me up, and I drove to this place that looked like right out of Wind in the Willows, like this like very like green English little compound. And that night I wrote Phoenix, and it wasn't until I was doing the final production, the final vocal take a year later, that I walked out of the vocal room. My friend Joaquim, who did a lot of the artwork for the album, said, hey, he's like my little brother. He said, hey, Nell, you wrote this song for you, huh? And I was like, yeah, I think I did. And when I was singing it, I realized we're never alone. We're never alone in the universe. Even if we're physically alone, we're never alone because we're all connected. So there's always somebody experiencing the same thing you are somewhere, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great. It's a good takeaway. And
But it was like a blankie. Like the song became like my blankie. So I hope it could be yours. Yeah.
and it's great that it made it on the album, even though you started it a long time ago and now it
Yeah, I
surfaced-
did. Woo! I did.
How great is her dress, though, by the way?
I know, I feel like I'm in the Renaissance.
It's gorgeous.
Shout out, Phil Gomez. Yeah, so what were you asking?
Oh, no, what I was actually going to ask is that in terms of sound, I know you teamed up with John, you mentioned him earlier, and he's worked with St. Vincent. How did that influence you and change your perspective on things with this record?
Okay, so great story. I put out Spirit Indestructible, which is my last English full length. I found myself in Tokyo, Japan at the Summer Sonic Music Festival, which is a great festival. I looked at the lineup and I thought, oh my God, one of my favorites is like on the same stage as me 2 hours before, and that was St. Vincent. So Annie Clark, an engineer who worked on my last record, turned me on to St. Vincent. And I started listening to her music, and so of course I saw her live show. And right after, she came kind of running off the stage and said hi to me, and I was like fangirl, like, oh my God, Annie's saying hi to me. And she's like all sweaty from playing, rocking out on the guitar, looking all beautiful in her one outfit. And then she goes to my change room, and I have 30 outfits like a diva. And I'm like, this rock goddess is in my room, and I look so cheesy with my 30 pop outfits and 30 pairs of shoes. And I had a cardboard cutout of my head that the label in Japan had made. And I was so nervous, because we get nervous, you meet other musicians, you get nervous too, right? And she sees the cardboard cutout, and she's so nice. Yeah. She said, oh, wow, you look really pretty in that photo. And I said, here, do you want it? And she's polite, and she said, okay. So anyway, eventually she introduced me to her producer, which is in the music world like giving your boyfriend's phone number, you know? Like, here's this guy I've been collaborating with for a decade, and okay, you can have his number. She was very nice. So anyway, I met him, we hit it off, and then again, same thing. Lone wolf, me, flew to Texas. Didn't even know where to stay, close to his studio is a converted funeral home in Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas. And I just showed up, and it doesn't even look like a studio from the outside. It looked a bit like a jail. And so I went in, and that day I cut Flatline, one of my favorite songs. So it was like this brave, kind of like lots of risk-taking for me. Lots of like feeling scared. When you really feel scared, you're like shaking, and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Almost like a first day like at a job. Like, I worked at my friend's record store. People ask me, so where you been? Always. I never see you. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
When I'm a mom.
Right.
I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I just like, it's love of my life. You know, I just love being a mom. And then I started doing all these other stuff. Like, I went back to university. I went to take night classes, playwriting classes. Started taking like sewing classes, pottery, all this other cool stuff. And then I actually worked at my friend's vinyl shop.
Really?
I did.
During this last 5 years? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get recognized a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. One day, a girl came in to take her wedding photos in there, and she was like, I think are you Nelly Furtado? It was a weird moment, because she was in her bridal gown, and I was like, I don't know, setting up some records for the photo shoot. But it's moments like this, just real life, because I feel like as a songwriter, if I don't live like a normal life, how am I supposed to write a song to connect, you know? Like, how am I gonna do that? Yeah. So like, that to me is like, if I can't write a song, I would be so sad, because it's a part of my happiness. Like, I could be mad at you if, like, say we're friends and like we're out for dinner and you said something and you offended me. I'm the type of friend, I don't even know I'm mad at you till it's a week later and I'm writing a song.
Got it.
And then I'll call you and you'll be like, why didn't you tell me you were mad at me? I had no idea. And I'll be like, well, I didn't know I was mad, but I'm mad. It's like latent emotionality, but I'm able somehow to write about it. So, I don't know. I did an experiment recently in Queens. You been to the MoMA PS1
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, a lot of us probably have been there.
Cool place.
Yeah.
I wrote songs with 100 strangers. in 4 hours. So anybody could come, even if you never pick up an instrument. I'll do it again so you guys can come.
Yeah.
Really fun, real low key, you know. I didn't film it. So everybody could feel comfortable. They just walk in a room, and it's kind of like an art installation, I guess. Because I wanted to figure out, where did these songs come from? Because I've been writing them since I was like 3. And I didn't know where they came from. They just come out of my mouth. And so in the experiment, I wanted to see if that would run out like a well. And I also wanted to see if I could see what you were thinking, if you told me about your dream last night, or your favorite vacation, or something. Because I think we need more empathy in the world. And I think if we could realize that we're all connected through proof, like a song, because there's a lot of mystery when it comes to the brain and dreams and all those things, and empathy, human empathy. There's so many mysteries that I wanted to kind of like explore that a little bit. So we had a fun time. Some people laughed, some people cried, some people argued, because we had strangers come in as a group because we ran out of time. So 5 people would have to come together and try to write a song with me. So there were people who didn't want to write about the same things. But overall, I feel like it was like like proof of empathy between anybody, no matter what your beliefs are, or no matter where you come from, that we all have this connection that we're not aware of. That's why when you walk past a stranger on the street, you're like, why am I feel drawn to them? Why do I feel compassion? Why do I want to stop? You know what I mean? And I feel like that could happen right now. Like, we're all talking to each other on another level right now. That's why you love songs. That's why we all like to sing the same songs throughout the world. Like, I really believe that. But I'm an idealist, but that's me.
But you brought people together. That was really empowering. It must have been a really cool experiment. It was like an experiment, really, there. So before we saw you, you came on, we were playing a lot of your repertoire. You have a huge catalog of music. What do you think of when you hear songs like I'm Like a Bird or Promiscuous Today that were so pervasive and that still are in our zeitgeist?
I love them. I really do. I was at a really fun party a couple weeks ago, and the DJ played like a 10-minute remix of Promiscuous. And I was like, this is like, I get why people like this so much. It's like really good to dance to. And like, it's like a really good quality record, I think. It's just like the way it's recorded, probably the themes, the vocal performances. I think things that make like classic songs are like really good vocal performances, really good themes, and you have to like believe it when you're singing it. You have to. For me, that song was about like the body positive women that I grew up with, like Salt and Pepper, TLC, Queen Latifah, Mary J. These women, you know, were tete-a-tete, par on par with the men. So I like that energy in that conversation in Promiscuous. And then I'm Like a Bird, still love singing it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's a little weird when I hear it at the grocery store and I'm checking out my groceries. I just don't know what to do with myself. I'm just like, I was like, what do I do? Okay, do nothing. Or like, it's weird. Yeah. It's always grocery stores. I swear, I'm like a bird, so I'm like, okay.
You're like, that's me.
It's funny.
I imagine.
But it's a blessing, so I'm like, don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Does the song mean the same thing to you now as it did, 17 years ago?
Good question. I don't know. Because sometimes I'm like, because I would like to be performing like when I'm in my golden years, like 70, 80, I admire people like Cesaria Evora, Amalia Rodriguez, like these people that perform to like, or like, Lata Mangeshkar, they keep performing, till the end. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, everybody. So I like those people that sing and sing and sing forever. So I would like to be able to still perform. Some of my songs, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like I might have to redo them or something. But yeah. What was your question exactly though? Because I feel like
you said it was a good one.
I don't know.
I said, does the song mean the same? What does it mean to you today versus back then when you wrote it back then?
Yeah. Some songs are like puzzles, and I'm not gonna lie. So I wrote the lyrics and the melody for "Say It Right." Timbaland wrote the music, And we were watching a Pink Floyd movie that night, and we literally wrote that song at 4 a.m., and I asked for an alien sound effect on my voice. The alien sound effect is not in the record you hear. But when I was cutting it, I was like, and I just loved the voice. It was probably more like, I'm so sorry. I get real weird up here. You said you like me. This is the real me. Anyway.
Yes.
No, but I swear I still don't know what that song is about, even though I wrote it. So when I sing it, I'm like, this is all I could come up with is like existential crisis in the club. That's all I could come up with. Like, you know, just, I don't know, like that person, like, just froze in the club, just like deep in thought.
All right. Well, next time we hear that, we'll think of that. We've all had those moments in the club, right? This release was released independently. Why is that important for you? Because you mentioned, you know, risk-taking.
You know, it's interesting because not a lot of people know this, but en español, si conoces mi plan, ¿conoces? Claro? Yeah. Manos al aire. Yeah. So, mi plan fue mi primer álbum independiente. Independiente, sorry. It's been a while. But like, that was my first independent album, actually. Yeah. Distributed through Universal Latino, who did a really great job. So yeah, I got to like just control everything from like, I worked with like an A&R that I really love, Andres Recio, and we pulled together this community of Latin artists. We were able to do that so freely because it was an independent project. Mm-hmm. The only difference is that the artist gets like kind of like complete creative control because they own the masters and they own the recordings. Mm-hmm. So because I got spoiled on Mi Plan, I really was like, I like this independent thing. So for the ride, I did get to get my album back from Interscope, and I got to release it with a bunch of partners around the world independently again. So everything you see is coming right from me, just to you. Sorry if you don't like it, it's my taste. Including my short hair.
We love it so far. We love it. So do you think you'll I know
No, just joking. I always did what I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I had such a great companies to work with over the years, and I'm open to whatever happens in the future. But right now, this was really, really fun to be able to just go out and figure some things out for myself in Dallas and just be scared and go on the tightrope and be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Because I think people can relate to those feelings.
Sure. You mentioned performing, and you want to perform probably forever. Do you think we'll see you on tour in 2017?
Actually, yeah, we have some really fun tour dates planned. I'm going to be playing my newest show. Like if you're out in Europe, I mean, if you're going to come out to Switzerland, there's a Zermatt festival. Zermatt Acoustic is really wonderful. We're playing that show. We're going to be doing some. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce some of the shows we're doing.
Okay.
I'm doing I won't tell you which Pride I'm doing, but I'm doing a Pride this summer.
Nice. Okay.
I'm so excited. Yeah. And doing some other festivals in North America. But yeah, we'll be announcing everything on my website on nellyfurtado.com, and check all my social media. I'll be regularly announcing everything like that. And as you know, the pre-order's up as well, which is so exciting because I made like really exclusive merchandise items, including like a really cool lyric zine, really cool exclusive vinyl, autographed things, a special T-shirt, just really relative to just like the launch.
I love it. March 31st, the album comes out, the ride.
Oh yeah, it's not even out yet. March 31st.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
we're out of time for our portion, but I would love to hear from the crowd. We have a few questions out there, starting with, who's first? Yes.
How are you?
So I love everything you do, you know, I feel like I understand.
Oh, she's coming with the microphone. Hi.
Do I sound out there? Okay. So hi again. Everything you do, you know, it has a meaning. I believe all of the changes that you go through, it's amazing, you know.
Thank
so
you.
my question right there is, I know every single album is a part of yourself, like, you know, Nelly and this and that. It's a part of yourself. So what is the right?
That's so good. You're right. Okay, so let's go through them. Whoa, Nelly, what did I call it? The brain, folklore, heart. Oh my God, this is an amazing question. Loose body, Mi Plan.
It's about the heart as well?
Did I name it? I'm not
Yes.
sure. Maybe
Oh,
Passion.
Yeah, like life, like
Yes.
regular life.
And then spirit was the spirit.
Spirit.
I think this is soul, to be honest. I know it's
So,
not,
right?
not very many degrees of separation, but I think to me this is like,
Soul.
yeah. It's
I
like,
like
because
it.
it's a soul's journey, right? Of the things, I don't know, because I think we're here to learn, right? And I feel like because it's like a diary of like a more difficult journey, I think,
Okay.
a more like when your soul is tested, right? And you get tested, you're like, okay, like, do you want to grow this time, right?
Cool.
On the planet? Because I feel like we got to pay for everything we do at some point.
It's life.
Yeah. And so I feel like this is a soul because it's like, okay, test. How do you react? How you going to deal with these challenges? And what are you going to pull? Because I feel like the soul is like, you know when you light a fire and the coals are in the fire and you kind of have to put, and as the coals are in the fire longer and longer, they get more red, you know, or the wood gets more red, the longer it's in, it gets white. I feel like that's the soul. Like when you're here, like it gets a little, not tenderized like a piece of meat, but it gets like, I don't know the right word. It burns, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like I need to learn like another language other than Portuguese and Spanish and English because I can't find the right word to explain it. Yeah. I guess ternura, right? In Spanish, is
Ternura?
that aspect of strength, the soul. To me, that's like, speaks to the soul and the strength of the soul and how you, really the quality of the human being, really, right? Isn't that? And how you develop your humanity as your life goes forward, you know? And I'm like 38, so my life was on fast forward for a while. So I've been through a lot. But I'm happy because I want to be like the grandma in the rocking chair one day. Just like, come here, let me tell you a story. You know, I want to be that. Like,
You have a long way to go, but so soul, yeah. But all right,
Gracias,
next question.
aren't you glad you asked?
Olá, Nelly. Fala português.
Hola, how are you?
Well, thank you. My question is, now that you're on your own, that you've left a 20-year relationship with a big label, now that you're on Nailstar Entertainment, do you feel like any chains were holding you back? Were you able to let them go?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really mixed answer for me, because like I feel like having a large company supporting you, and they still are around the world. We have all the same partners. I mean, the music business, not to bore you, but the way it's split up is, you know, independent labels all have, you know, something organizing them, and then there's a few other labels, but everybody's under the same few companies. It has more to do with your in-house team and like what you want to create. But for me, all it is, I like being able to write something today and put it out tomorrow, right? There's no really checks and balances, because if you own your voice and you own all your masters and you own everything you're making, it's just easier. Because when certain contracts are like, okay, you have to go through a system before you release the music. But because I write so many songs, as you saw, I wrote like with 100 people in 4 hours. So I write a lot. So for me, that was it. It was just like, okay, like on Spotify, I put out a Drake cover in the summer, Too Good. I put out I Feel So Close, Calvin Harris song, acoustically. I did that like in 3 days. And I was able to do that because I'm independent. So that's really it for me. It's like, okay, cool, fast. But if I was independent this whole time, I probably wouldn't be able to sit at a carnival. True story, I remember sitting at a carnival in Kazakhstan in 2008, and a woman had Say It Right as her ringtone on the park bench. And the phone lit up and it started playing Say It Right. And I'm in the middle of a country so far away. And I thought, wow, that's because I've had like a large megaphone through a company supporting my music and radio and being able to reach all internationally. You know what I mean? That's important to me, to be able to reach a lot of people. So yeah, I'm lucky, right? I'm lucky to be able to do this now because I've already made so many contact with so many fans through whatever business relationship I've had over the years. Yeah. Good question, though.
Thanks for that question. We
Obrigada.
have another question in the crowd here. Perfect.
Hi.
Hey, how are
A
you?
question that was kind of similar to his. I was just wondering, now that you're an independent artist, do you feel like you'd be able to release music a little bit more freely and maybe like a visual album, perhaps? Because I feel like your music videos are amazing. They're all so different and iconic, and I feel like a whole visual album can kind of really tell like the whole story.
Thank you. I think you're totally right. I think you're 100% correct. And actually, that's not a bad idea for the next project I'm working on. So maybe my next release, which is most likely a collaborative album, I think that's a great idea, because I agree. I just put out a really cool mini movie today, directed by Joaquin Johnson. It's called The Ride. We just thought we wanted to tell people, like, sometimes it's hard to know where art is coming from. But if you see a movie or something, you're right. It's like, oh, I get it. I get what she's saying. You know, you need people need help to understand sometimes. So with a visual, yeah, I love visuals. I love making it. But then I'm also like, I also want to make sure whatever visual I create, that it's like perfect for the song and that it's the right thing. And then that takes time. So we will be putting out a lot of visuals for this album, but they're going to be staggered. Like, you're going to get them slowly as the project unfolds. But in the future, I would like to see it more thematically, like a film, because I think that's a really cool way to approach it and combine things that I love, or maybe a live, musical, something like that, because I really like, and I'm very interested in exploring new ways to reach fans in more intimate ways and more exciting ways and novel ways.
Great. Well, thank you. We have one more question.
Hi, Nelly.
Hi.
I was curious to know, during the making of the new album, was there anything that surprised you, be it vocally or a song that you wrote?
Yeah. So John Congleton is really talented, but he had never done a pop album. So he'd only worked with alternative and punk and rock, and his own projects and sides and band projects have been very different than my music. So when we came together, there was that like healthy creative tension and pressure on both of us to kind of like meet halfway. One thing I loved about him is he challenged me in the studio. So on this album, I actually sing my lowest note I've ever recorded and the highest note I've ever recorded, all on one album. And it was hard. I looked at him and said, "Are you sure you want this in the higher octave at the end? Like, this is a song called Live. It's not out yet. It's really high at the end." And I was like, "Are you sure? I sound like so, like I'm straining my voice." And he's like, no. Like, this song needs urgency at the end. You need to sound like you're so pained for like the emotion. And I was like, okay. And I sang it. And now I'm like, how am I going to sing this live? I'm going to ruin my voice. And then on Pipe Dreams, lowest note, where I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, okay, relax every muscle. But it's just, yeah. So anyway, I thank him because he gave me those experiences. So those were like cool. What else? Oh, I wrote a song on piano, first ever. I always kind of tinkered around and did programming sometimes, a little production, but never really wrote a song on piano like Elton John. So I have a song that could be a tribute to him. It's called Carnival Games. And I wrote it on my piano from start to finish. And it's so simple because, again, I'm not really a pianist. But sometimes pop songs, they're simple. They have 3 or 4 chords. This one maybe has 5 or 6. But 6 chords. You play guitar? Okay. Right, I'm like a bird, might have 7 chords. Guitar, I wrote a lot on guitar though. Like Magic, I wrote on guitar. Live. Yeah, what else did I write? I don't know. Oh yeah, we have weird influences, like, weird. Weird because they're so mainstream, like Prince and Stevie Wonder. So yeah, we have a song influenced by Prince. It's called Paris Sun. We have a song, Cold Hard Truth, actually. Our whole inspiration was Superstitious by Stevie Wonder. And that's why there's so much clavinet. So yeah. All these instruments are like, all these players in Dallas, Texas are like, a lot of them grew up playing church music and playing in church. So organs and all this cool stuff. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for that question. And thank you, Nelly, for coming today.
You're welcome.
Get the album, March 31st, The Ride. And let's give it up for Nelly Furtado.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
Now, performance is next, so stick around.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome here to perform music from her latest release, The Ride, available for pre-order now, the one and only Nelly Furtado.
Don't sell me no pipe dreams. I wanna live with you through everything. Don't sell me no pipe dreams. I wanna live in a kaleidoscope. Don't sell me no pipe dreams. Wanna be the one to spin the wheel. I know that we can only give when we have hope, but I don't wanna live without any goals. You can't protect me from nothing, can't save me from the truth. You can't even save me from you. So don't sell me no pipe dreams. I wanna feel the good and bad and everything. Even when it hurts, even when it hurts. I know that we can only give when we got a little hope, but I don't like the burden of living with these ghosts. I will hold my head high when I walk in your parade, but I will always watch my gate. I will always watch my gate. Oh, pipe dreams. Oh, pipe dreams. Pipe dreams. Oh, pipe dreams. Yeah. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I can't really know you, yeah. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I can't really know you, yeah. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on, walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on. If I can't really know you, I'd rather walk on, walk on, walk on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is Adam Pickrell on Rhodes today in Dallas. The song's called Phoenix. Mother, just lay your head down. You've been burning both ends of the candle and you're done. It's time to find your wings again. Turn your face towards the sun. Some battles can't be won. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like a phoenix rising from the flame. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright again. Oh, brother, your hands are tired. You've been holding the world up and you're losing your grip. If you knew now what you knew then, maybe you'd be whole again. But everyone falls down. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like a phoenix rising from the pain. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright again. You've been a cancer in the clouds and then the fire burning down, but you're still standing anyway. When all you needed from the start is waiting there inside your heart to be born again. Like a phoenix. Like a phoenix. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright again. Alright again. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright again. Thank you so much.